this is something that it seems really critical. Protect Bitcoin property rights, a firm's rights or of self-custody. Talk to us about this, because this is, I think, an area where a lot of individuals in the retail side are concerned about.
It's very important that we protect Bitcoin and people who hold their Bitcoin in individual wallets. We don't want to see this asset become owned only by governments, and certainly don't want to see it controlled by governments, because its great virtue is as freedom money. It is infinitely divisible. It can be used all over the world. It is something that you can send from one person to another at a very low cost and very quickly. Its ability to help bring people out of poverty or into the innovator class and the wealthier class is very exciting. And that's why we want to protect individual property rights in Bitcoin and people's individual wallets.
Right.
There's a phrase, not your keys, not your coin. Your keys are your ability to access your Bitcoin. We want to make sure people have access to their own keys and their own Bitcoin.
And there you see Senator Cynthia Lummis. She's giving you her take on how people should manage their keys. 1000%, not your keys, not your coins. Now we're seeing senators and other governing officials in the US get involved heavily into the crypto sector. Prepare for the liftoff. And with that, what's happening, crypto crew? Sean's coming back at you in the cryptocurrency video.
Hey guys, sorry for the quick interruption, but if you're interested in trading MicroStrategy options, any other stock out there, Bitcoin, Solana, or any other crypto out there, you can now do that on MooMoo. And if you sign up with our affiliate link, which we pin in the comment section, also in the description below, when you sign up and deposit any amount, you're going to receive up to 20 free stocks. And each one of these stocks could be valued at up to $2,000. So make sure to sign up with MooMoo. Go get that free money. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video.
Taking a look at Bitcoin at the current time it's recording, we're still sitting above 99K. 99.4K at the current time it's recording. How much higher could we go before we get a cool off? Looking at the RSI is just stair-stepping its way up, putting in lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Now, we got to pay attention if we get back above this 76 level, because we want to see if Bitcoin can get back up to this 88 range. One reason being, if Bitcoin plays around and then comes up and then breaks through this and comes down further, obviously the price is going to fall. But if we come up and put in a higher low, lower than this previous high, that is a divergence there, because if the price goes up and the RSI goes up, puts a higher low in, that is a bearish divergence. So we want to see if Bitcoin can stair-step its way up to put at least a higher high in, maybe at the high 90s, and then come down, cool off, and then come down, put a higher low in, and then that could be the divergence, and that's even at higher price appreciation. So that's what we're looking for in the charts. We're not there yet. Bitcoin is getting ready to blast off. 100K could be on the way within the next day or so. Could happen in a few hours. It could happen any moment. We're just $500 away from 100K. Historic moment for Bitcoin. And Dennis Porter's weighing in. He's known for giving a lot of calls. He's definitely very connected, but calls that ended up being correct. He just got off the phone with one of the smartest people he knows. He said Bitcoin hits gold's parity this cycle. What exactly does this mean? This means that Bitcoin hits 900K this cycle. 900K, that's a 9x from where we are right now. Massive, massive gains could be on the way. And Michael Saylor's trending on Twitter. The price of Bitcoin is still less than 0.1 million. So he's already counting Bitcoin in the millions. His price prediction of 13 million in 21 years is what he sees happening. And right now it's still an early time to get in, because if you look at where we are right now to where he says we're going, that's 130x over the next 21 years. More Michael Saylor media. At some point, mainstream media and traditional investors will have no choice but to admit that Saylor was right. Fred Krueger's also weighing in. He seems to be a MicroStrategy bear. He might just be playing that to, get some exposure more than what he already has, but respect to Fred. At the end of the day, Saylor's the best spokesperson on the planet for Bitcoin. Definitely 100% agree, because he goes hard with his media campaigns, and he's always in the media saying why people need to own Bitcoin, corporations, and everything above. Max Kaiser's also showing love. Saylor is to Bitcoin what Elon Musk is to rockets. Definitely 1000% agree on this. And if you don't know this interview earlier today, Michael Saylor says basically we're making $500 million a day. What company or corporation do you know is making $500 million a day by really not even working for it, just holding an asset? That's MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy has been blasting off the charts. When Bitcoin goes up, the MicroStrategy flywheel is definitely it following. And right here, Income Sharks is weighing in on where he thinks we are in the cycle. He's saying right now, here's 100K, just stair stepping our way up to the upside, and we blast through it, sort of start another channel to the upside, might have a retest to the downside, and then a blast up into 100,000, 200,000. He's predicting January sell the news event, bears celebrate, and then Q1 gets extremely, extremely bullish. MicroStrategy is one of the most profitable companies in the world with forward PE of less than 1. So what exactly does this mean? Here's the numbers. 500 million of profit per day, that's coming from saylor, we just mentioned that, times 20 trading days, because you see there's 4.33 weeks in a month. You got to incorporate the business, you got to incorporate the weekends and when the markets close, which equals roughly $10 billion a month. 500 million times 20, that's that easy math. 10 billion a month times 12 months, you're looking at $120 billion a year in forward earnings for MSTR. So let's look at the comparable company. Apple's annual earnings, 94 billion, and they have a market cap of 3.4 trillion. And then let's look at Microsoft's annual earnings, 90 billion, with a market cap of 3 trillion. So if you look at this here, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy right now, based on the $500 million a day, that's $120 billion a year. That's more than both the annual earnings for both Apple and Microsoft. But here's the big catch-22. MicroStrategy market cap is only 95 billion. And look at these two market caps, 3 trillion and 3.4 trillion. For MicroStrategy to get to a $3 trillion valuation, that's a 30x from where it is right now as far as company valuation goes. If you don't see this opportunity here, you might miss the boat. Matt's weighing in. He's saying MicroStrategy is going to 600 by next Friday, November 29th, and it could be in the top 25 for NASDAQ 100. The nasty cascading sellings behind us. No, yesterday was not saylor hitting ATM. There are many sellers in the market. There are probably some big players shorting alongside the convertible bond, Delta Hedge, as well as Citron and retail. This led to margin calls and cascading liquidations, but here's the beautiful thing about it. Once they've borrowed and sold, they're done. The sell pressure is out of the way, and the negative aspect of the convertible bonds has now been literally priced into the stock. Although saylor was not the bulk of the selling, I'm sure he's kept pace of issuing 900 million of his shares daily this week, which means he has 4.6 billion of powder to buy some more Bitcoin, along with the 2.97 billion they received from convertible bonds, which leaves MicroStrategy with a $7.5 billion of capital to go buy Bitcoin. So if we assume 98,000 average price, that equates to another 77,000 Bitcoins, bringing their holdings up to 410. We will round up for easy math. When Bitcoin hits just under 100K before Thanksgiving, they will have $41 billion of Bitcoin. This effectively gaps up the fair value of the company alongside the growing Bitcoin yield. This growth increases investors are willing to pay for the access to high growth earnings. So this is extremely important. Why is this bullish? Because around the Thanksgiving holiday, people are going to be sitting at the dinner tables, and what's going to be the topic of conversation? It's going to be Bitcoin hitting $100,000 and MicroStrategy going crazy. So this is what could wake up retail going out of the Thanksgiving holiday. This is extremely, extremely bullish for markets. If MicroStrategy makes this type of move before next Friday, this could cause a cascading event that people are not ready for over the next year. And looking at MicroStrategy at the close, it was 421 post-market up to 426. We've showed you this. Hit our head once, twice, 3, 4 times, and then finally broke through this downwards resistance and came back down and retested it. So there's something to pay attention to here. This was a massive just dump. We fell all the way down here, And right now, we're trying to get back above it, and we retested the bottom line of the 20 moving averages on the 2-hour chart. So we want to just note that if this doesn't hold, if we come down, maybe double bottom out to have a continuation to the upside, but if we don't hold this upward support level, we fall back below this, maybe retest this, we could see lower price action. And right now, this could be some type of inverse bull flag that we're looking at. It sort of looks like something that doesn't look that pretty. And if we just copy and paste this could be some type of inverse pattern that could bring us all the way back down to this previous support, which also in turn could potentially fill this gap here. So are we going to come back down to $300 for MicroStrategy? Just be aware of this setup. Now, it doesn't mean this is going to happen because everybody's bullish, but this definitely looks like a bearish pattern. But we're not calling for this, but if we do break this upwards trend line, this is something to definitely pay attention to. So Gladiator's weighing in. The whole world wakes up to Bitcoin MicroStrategy over the course of the next week. History we've made 100K plus. Saylor announces 10 billion plus Bitcoin buy in a single week. This is the parabolic portion of the MicroStrategy story. Bitcoin super cycle is only going to add fuel to the fire. So we sort of have this narrative as well. So this may be invalidated. We just want you to look at the downside, understand that at the current time it's recording, where this support lies is around that $350 or $400 range. If the candles get below that and we start having closes below 400, that's where you want to sort of be cautious and understand that we could get more of a breather before we have a continuation, because this still would be just putting in, once again, it'll be putting in a high, a lower high, and then a higher high. So that could be a continuation pattern, and this could get a lot more people scared. But going to this holiday weekend, we could see history made, not just from the buys Michael Saylor is doing for MicroStrategy, but also the 100K Bitcoin. If Bitcoin at the current time it's recording still sitting around 99.2K, when's this going to break? It could be any day. With that, I'm showing off the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content? Go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate each and every one of you. And with that, I'm out.